Three.
All right, YouTube is going.
Three. Three. Two. One.
How's
Live.
it going, everybody? This is Aiko and
Psycho.
here with Everyday Talks.
With Aiko and Psycho.
Thank you guys for choosing Everyday Talks. This is Aiko.
And Psycho. And every time that music plays, I can't help but get my dance on.
A reminder to everybody that watched the first Twitch stream that we did because we couldn't do YouTube at the time. I do own the beat to that. I paid for it and bought it rightfully from Grim De La Rosa. If YouTube has any complaints or anything, you can email me, please. I will send you the link to the PDF file submitting the fact that I purchased diamonds. Thank you. Today we are back with Paranormal Talks Part 2, and we have a guest with us today, Fronter, who has had some paranormal experiences.
Hello there.
Welcome to our show, Fronter. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to join you guys.
That's awesome. It's great to have you. I can't wait to hear about your paranormal weirdness story because, I mean, last week we got into some of it, but I was pretty much stuck on zombies, and I think I'm there again today. So I'm hoping we can really, I know, I'm hoping we can get into some ghosts this time, or not start talking about chocolate cake. So. Yeah.
Hey, chocolate cakes can be haunted too. You eat one and boom, the next thing you know, possessed.
It's all gone.
Possessed by the cake. Wah, 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 wah.
Why does that sound like a movie that would be made, like a really bad B movie?
Yeah.
See,
that would be a great one.
If you do get possessed by a cake, you have to wonder what the person baked it with, because obviously they killed someone and baked them into a cake.
That's a perfectly good waste of a cake.
I know, right?
I mean, like, why waste a cake with a human remains? I'm like,
because cannibals do exist.
Bake them into a meatloaf, but not a cake.
Or meat pie. Who knows?
Ew. Pasties. Blah.
They could put a drop of blood in it, mix it in, and it would still spread through the entire cake. So, yeah, you got possessed.
You have been possessed by a drop of the demon blood. Welcome to our club.
Thank God, Satan's toe is actually a candy, and it's one of the hottest lollipops on the planet. Thank God the essence of Satan is not actually in it, and you don't get possessed by Satan and become demonic in presence in nature.
How do you know this for a fact?
Because I have watched several YouTubers, and their attitudes didn't change in any way.
But has anybody ever stood in the bathroom in the dark in front of the mirror and called out for the Candyman?
No, but I did do Bloody Mary.
I'll do Candyman right now.
I thought that you had to do that like midnight or something, or is that Bloody Mary?
Yeah, no, Candyman is a time-based one, isn't it? Because Bloody Mary is anytime. You can do that anytime. You just have to have the lights out, and I think you have to have a camera, because I think
I got both. I'm scared. I can't do it. I changed my mind. I'm like, no, it was dark in there. I can't do it. Wait, I'm gonna go back. I'm doing it. I'm not gonna shut the door this time though, because it was a little bit too scary for me. I'm gonna stand in front of the mirror.
You want to pull up your camera and I'll pull up the Zoom meeting?
Oh no! I'm just gonna. Well, if anything happens, you'll know. Okay.
And we'll have it live on YouTube.
I'm standing in front of the mirror. I'm gonna do both of them at the same time. Are you ready?
I think you have to do one at a time.
Candyman, Bloody Mary. Candyman, Bloody Mary. Candyman, Bloody Mary. Candyman, Bloody Mary. Nothing.
Yeah, no kidding. Because you didn't do it right. You have to do Bloody Mary a few times in a row, and you have to do Candyman a few times in a row. You can't do Candyman, Bloody Mary, because then you negate the effects entirely. So start over.
No.
And Bloody Mary, I believe it's a very specific time frame thing.
Oh, we need a time frame.
You know what? Here, since
Yeah.
I've got my stream open to everything else, Google.com.
I'm looking it up right now.
Rules for Bloody. I am too, because my stream's being screened. So, Bloody Mary. You know that like they have Minecraft Phasmophobia, and it's actually fantastic because they have Bloody Mary as a ghost that can appear, and it obviously, of course, only appears in the bathroom.
That's amazing. Now I kind of want to get Minecraft more.
Yeah, I used to play Minecraft, and I had a beautiful castle with a lake and a
And
slide.
they got
and,
blown up. Then it got blown
and
up.
Check
bridges.
this
And then my
out.
youngest son went in, and he unleashed zombies into my castle. I quit playing. I'm like, well, suck the fun right out of my building expedition. I just like to go in and build things. I'm not trying to fight off zombies. If I want to fight off zombies, I'll play Arizona Sunshine with my friend Aiko.
Yeah, I definitely need to
Says
get
the person
that
who's
game.
like, Aiko, kill the zombie, kill the zombie, kill the zombie, as she runs away and doesn't shoot it.
Says, Psycho, you're the one with all
You know
the
what?
ammo.
No. We split it evenly, and she knows this. I will throw ammo at her feet and make sure that we both have ammo, and then I
He
run
does.
out because
He
she
does.
won't shoot the zombies. So
That's
you know
not
what?
true.
You-
I've shot quite a few zombies.
You know what? From
I
now
like-
on, I'm doing this. I'm doing this from now on. If we ever play Arizona Sunshine again, you get one. I get the rest because I can give you some from my stash. But until you are out of ammo, I'm not giving you any more because you don't shoot the zombies hardly at all. Wait till we get to the next part, by the way, because we get to go into a cave with a flashlight.
Oh, I remember that part.
I don't
oh
like
my
that.
God, that's terrifying.
In my defense, I'm much better with melee weapons like machetes and swords and things like that. I'm not really good with guns. I don't have good aim.
I'll agree with that absolutely on my case too, because I suck at aiming in that game. But anyway, back on the topic of paranormal, I on WikiHow actually apparently has a how to play Bloody Mary. Number 1.
You never doubt the power of WikiHow.
What? Decide who's going to call Bloody Mary first. Obviously, Psycho
Okay.
volunteered. Okay, so we already know who's going to do it. Go into the bathroom, and when you turn, when it's your turn to turn off the lights, close the door behind you so it's completely dark, and make sure no one followed you in. You have to be alone. Place a candle on the sink in front of the mirror and light it. Oh, that's why. Don't have a bathroom you can play in? Try summoning Bloody Mary in another dark room with a mirror. Then you say it in front of the mirror 3 times. Keep your eyes open while you're saying it. Make sure you speak slowly and clearly so Bloody Mary can hear you. Then wait for her to appear in the mirror. No one knows for sure, but some people say Bloody Mary looks like a scary old witch. Spin around in a circle 3 times if Bloody Mary doesn't appear. Spinning might make her show up. After you spin 3 times, stop and look in the mirror to see if she appeared. If she's still not there, try spinning the other direction. Then blow out the candle and leave the bathroom. Tell your friends about what you saw in the mirror. Send the next person to call Bloody Mary.
No.
In all honesty, like if you see Bloody Mary and you send the next person, and at a point I think Bloody Mary's just gonna stop coming. She's like, oh my God, this loser again.
Right? And I mean, what's the point of the spinning? I'm like, let's be perfectly frank here. That's like a stroke causer. Not trying to have a stroke today.
If you have a
No.
stroke from spinning, that's a big health issue. You need to see a doctor.
You get dizzy, fall down, hurt yourself, crack
It doesn't
your
say you
skull
have.
open
It doesn't
on
have.
your
It doesn't
toilet.
say do it. Vigorously. It just says spin in a circle 3 times. You can do it
In
as
the
slow as
dark?
you want. Yeah, in the dark with a candle. So you're actually in the light of a fire, which will light up the whole room. And because if you're in a pitch dark room, you're not going to see her in the mirror. You can't even see yourself. So I get the candle. But okay, so
Yeah.
Candyman says all you have to do is enter a dimly lit room, stand in front of the mirror, and say the name Candyman 5 times in a row, and then the killer will show up behind you and kill you with his hook hand.
Oh, well,
Since you
I don't want to die.
you want to give it a go?
Well, not today.
Like I got nothing. I got nothing better to do. Let's go. Let me get stuff.
Well,
If Frederick
all
comes
three of
back, we're
us-
gonna have to start questioning him about like his life
Listen.
and everything that we actually know about him to see if he's been
Let's-
possessed.
all 3 of us actually need to do it at the same time. Because how can the Candyman be at the same place at the same time?
I'm just gonna say it slower than both of you to make sure that one of you gets it first.
Then it's like Russian roulette. It's like Russian roulette at that point. I mean, like you either got the bullet or you got the blank.
Lucky day. Come on, lucky day.
Well, the one
Yeah,
problem
no.
is that I'm streaming from my computer and have a headset, so you wouldn't even know whether or not I was doing it, which is actually on my side. Why did I say that out loud?
OMG.
That would be
OMG.
perfect. I could just come back and be like, "Yep, I did it."
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
And if I don't hear a response from both of you, I'll just assume that you died.
I just died right now. I'm dead.
I'll have to change the name of the show to Everyday Talks with Aiko and not Psycho.
I'm telling you right now, I can promise you that if it was like a cotton candy monster or something that popped up, like you stood in front of the mirror with a candle and you were like, cotton candy, cotton candy, cotton candy, and a cotton candy monster appeared, I'm all over that like a fly on a turd. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Because I'll eat the cotton candy monster. I'm like, you know how fast you can eat cotton candy? You can literally grab the whole thing and just start shoveling it in. And it melts in your mouth.
So I watched Good Mythical Morning. Shout out to them, by the way, if they ever
Hell
see this
yeah.
or someone does send them this. But they do a Willet cotton candy or something, and they put it in milk. They put it in milk, and apparently it's fucking amazing. And I want to try it really bad. So if you think about that, it's just sugar water. If he appears in your shower, just turn on the shower and it melts him.
I'm getting in with them.
So wait, is this like wait, is this Candyman or the freaking Wicked Witch? Wait, what is this? The freaking Candyman or is this the Wicked Witch of the West?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I've been referred to as Satan, so there's that.
When I worked at Salt Life for the 2 days that I worked there, I found out that they called one of the waitresses Satan.
You know, sometimes you just get a reputation.
She wasn't actually bad. She was really nice, but I guess that like some things she does particularly, it doesn't go against anything. But the manager just started calling her that, and she was totally chill with it. Because that's how they introduced me to her. They didn't even give me her name, and I can't remember her real name. They were just like, "This is Satan." I'm like, "Uh-huh."
Hi, nice to meet you, Satan. My name is Jesus.
Let me pray for you right now. Get this demon out of you.
All right. So, with all of that being said, and we've discussed Candyman and Bloody Mary, which I know if you look up the Bloody Mary thing, I think there's a whole story behind Bloody Mary on that too. I know they did a movie about it.
Yeah, wait, wasn't that part of like the Urban Legends movie? It was either that one or the sequel was the bloody one with Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right, Prenter. I truly do.
Oh my god, I hated those movies. They were so bad.
They were so scary. They were super scary.
Here we go. The myth of Bloody Mary. The first woman to rule England in her own right didn't simply inherit the throne. She seized it with unprecedented ambition from those who sought to thwart her. Let me find out where it... Okay.
Oh,
Born February 18th, 1516. Bloody Mary.
Yeah,
Mary was the long-awaited son.
Wrong one.
Not the long-awaited son. That's not
wrong
right.
one.
Yeah,
that's
no
the wrong
kidding.
Bloody Mary. That Bloody Mary is the daughter of Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon.
Oh, here we go. Bloody Mary is the legend of a ghost, phantom, or spirit conjured to reveal the future. She is said to appear in a mirror when her name is chanted repeatedly. The Bloody Mary apparition may be benign or malevolent, depending on historic variations of the legend. Bloody Mary appearances are mostly witnessed in group participation, play, or by a man who is about to die.
That's definitely a factor right there.
That counts me out because I'm not a man.
Oh, and, I remember this.
I don't think that Aiko's about to die, so let me just turn off the light. Let me go get my candle. Let's. I swear I have a lighter that counts.
Well, no, it's just
there you
candle, because I think she's attracted to the smell too.
Well, what if you use an unscented candle? She's not going to come.
Let me find my pumpkin spice one. I have my closet.
If she hey, if she appears to you
Oh
for
my
that, she's
God.
your basic white girl, man.
She's
I
a
was
basic
sick-
bitch.
I was about to say that.
Girl, we want some
She's
pumpkin
a bit-
spice.
I think we're out of, isn't it now? What's the season now? Like, oh, it's spring scents, so it's got to be like sweet pea and violets and stuff. So if she's truly basic, you're gonna have to burn your sweet pea and violet.
Let me see what I got. Got my
All
old
right.
7.
Got your what? You got lavender?
No, I got my 7-Eleven. I just realized there's a smoke detector right above my fucking bathroom, so I can't do that.
Uh-oh.
Just take the battery. Just get a ladder, take the batteries out real quick, light the candle, and when you're done, and
No, the problem is that there has to be a special key to get into the thing.
yeah, it's called a crowbar.
episode.
It's called a crowbar.
I don't know, they won't allow me to have this thing in job.
Next episode is Fronter setting off the smoke alarm in his dorm room.
Get my ass beat by the RAs.
We'll just start the next episode right now. Bye, guys. No.
All you hear is screaming. All you hear is these screams like, stop, please mercy.
Just be like, listen, it must have been made in China. I don't know.
Well, here's a good question, because some people believe that Bloody Mary, the original, is gone, and then the overall name for the ghost that haunts the bathroom is now known as Bloody Mary. So I'm curious about that. Is Bloody Mary? I don't want to know if it's a real story, and obviously she's not still alive. This story's been around for what, a few hundred years?
At least 100.
Yeah, at least. So she'd be, if she is still alive. Yeah, no. Is Bloody Mary a collection of ghosts?
Oh, kind of like the Candyman in the new movie is basically revealed to be basically a lineage of people instead of just one person.
But my question is this.
Yeah. Wait, what? I just lost you guys. Great, and Zoom is not gonna work. Why can't I hear you? Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. Hello?
Hey, what happened?
It says, hey, upgrade Zoom. You have a 40-minute limit.
Are you fucking kidding?
I wish I was kidding. I'm gonna invite Fronter. Give me a sec.
All right, delete those lives and we'll have to start over.
No, we don't, because we're already in it and it's still going. Create group DM. Okay, there we go.
All right.
We both in. Yeah, Zoom kicked me off. Let me make sure that audio is still working. Go ahead and talk.
Check.
Yeah, okay, so it's registering you on that. Go ahead and talk again.
Check.
Yep, okay. So we're still going. Sorry about that, guys. Little issue with Zoom was like, oh, hey, you only have a 40-minute meeting limit. Like, I guess that's like permanent, because we streamed through Zoom for almost an hour previously. Did you pay for Zoom, Psycho?
No, it's supposed to be free, but I didn't know it had a 40-minute limit. So we'll just have to keep doing this through OBS.
We're doing it through Discord now,
I don't hear.
I'm still doing Twitch Studio for Twitch and OBS for YouTube. They're both still streaming, and they're both picking up the audio, so we're good on that. I do need to adjust the audio just a little bit.
Okay, I don't hear Fronter. Where's Fronter?
Fronter, where are you?
Fronter. I don't hear Fronter.
I don't
We
either.
lost Fronter. Okay, so we lost our special guest. It was fun to have him.
Well,
That
he's
was
still in the
Fronter.
chat with us, but I don't know why I can't hear him. I messaged him personally though. This is weird. Okay, well, this has been an exciting episode so far. Maybe we've been haunted. Maybe it's the ghost of computers. Okay, that's just lame.
It was probably Bloody Mary. I'm just putting it out there. We just got cursed by Candyman and Bloody Mary, and I'm all like wanting the cotton candy monster.
It says he's talking. Mute
Uh-oh.
okay. I muted him and unmuted him. I still don't hear him. It's not registering that he's talking with the green around it. Hey, Fronter, leave and rejoin real quick. I want to see if that fixes it. Unplug and plug in your headset too, or whatever you were using.
He has to disconnect like Zoom. He has to shut Zoom all the way down.
Oh yeah, that's probably why I closed out Zoom. I couldn't actually hear Discord ringtone. So when you joined and I could hear you, I was like, oh, okay, well that's good.
Okay, there he goes.
All right, he's back, and still can't hear him.
Voice check, voice check. Fronter, make sure you're shutting down anything that was using your audio, like Zoom.
I'm messaging it too.
Well, we need to keep talking because we're live.
Yeah, we're just trying to fix this. I guess we'll go for another 10 extra minutes because that kind of just sucks. Anyway,
yeah. So what we can do is just can we play music or something as a quick intermission while
No.
we okay, we can't do that.
No, I mean I could play the full beat that we use 20 seconds of, but that's only because I own it, and I can prove that I own it. It still has Grim De La Rosa's name in like the intro and stuff. Well, every beat that is not currently usually owned by you, until you edit that out, it stays with it. So it's like beat by Grim De La Rosa, and beat continues, and then it just plays through the rest of it.
Okay.
So that's why I made the statement right at the beginning.
Okay, so we're just trying to get him. We're trying to get Fronter back up and running. We're getting him to check his settings.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get our guest back. So in the meantime, we will be discussing some things.
Here, you know what? Let's look up some more ghost stories.
All right.
Okay, I don't want actual books to buy. I just want stuff to read about. This one's titled The Cell Phone. A couple months ago, my friend's cousin, a single mother, bought a new cell phone. After a long day of work, she came home, placed her phone on the counter, and went to watch TV. Her son came to her and asked if he could play with her new phone. She told him not to call anyone or mess with the text messages, and he agreed. At around 11:20, she was drowsy, so she decided to tuck her son to go to bed. She walked to his room and saw that he wasn't there. She then ran over to her room to find him sleeping on her bed with the phone in his hand. Relieved, she picked her phone back up from his hand to inspect it. Browsing through it, she noticed only minor changes, such as the new background banner, etc. But then she opened up saved pictures. She began deleting the pictures he had taken until only one new picture remained. When she first saw it, she was in disbelief. It was her son sleeping on the bed, but the picture was taken by someone else above him, and it showed the left half of an elderly woman's face.
Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you. You're back.
Welcome back.
Turns out what happens is that my PC and my computer, because I'm using the Discord browser version, will not connect to calls. Like, it was showing I was talking, but nobody can hear me. So I had to switch over to my phone.
Oh, crap.
No worries.
All right, well, let me just double check it. Keep talking for a sec, Fronter.
Okay, I'm back and I'm happy.
Yep, all right, we're in. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it was picking you up on the stream too, so we're good on that. But did you happen to hear the story I just talked about? I read 12 terrifying ghost stories you shouldn't read alone.
I was working on. I could hear your guys' audio just fine.
Yeah, I was
But
telling the one about the cell phone one where she took the phone away from her son and deleted a bunch of pictures he took, and only to find out that there was a picture. She said it was her son sleeping on her bed, but the picture was taken by someone else above him, and it showed the left half of an elderly woman's face.
Weird.
I mean, what it sounds like to me is like someone broke into their house and took a damn, wow, my brain. What's it? A
And took
selfie.
some selfies.
Yeah,
So
took a
some
selfie with the
old.
kid.
So what you're saying is an elderly woman broke in the house, hopped in bed with this child, and took some selfies.
Yeah, you know how many freaking weirdos there are in the world, and you know how many other dumb people there are in the world that just leave their doors unlocked or just straight up are that forgetful they forget to lock their doors. Breaking and entering is still considered if you walk into someone's house at random, even if the door is unlocked, you broke in.
Yeah.
True, but I know like my parents would be considered elderly, and I have tried to teach my mom to do selfies, and she's not all about that life.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they. I mean, yeah, they take my parents will take pictures of each other on their phones, but they can't do selfies. They don't really understand that concept.
Okay.
So I mean, could it have been a ghost? Maybe.
Ooh, spoopy.
That
Maybe
just
my-
means that grandma died in the house and took a picture of the next kid, and they're like, "This is my new grandchild."
I think we're just gonna blame my PC malfunction like that on the Candyman or Bloody Mary, whatever we were talking about.
Ooh, the cotton candy monster.
Yes, curse you, cotton candy monster, making my PC malfunction.
You sure
Yeah.
you didn't? Hey, are you sure you didn't just mute yourself because you set off the freaking fire alarm?
No,
Yeah.
I did not actually set it off. Oh I did not set off the fire alarm. Otherwise, you would have
Wait.
a lot of screaming, a lot of pain noises, me getting my ass kicked.
A lot of noises of me getting my ass kicked.
Yeah. All right, well,
What exactly would that sound like? I'm just curious.
Me yelping, me screaming, mercy, please, not my ass.
Mercy. Have mercy on my arse.
Well, here's another short ghost story called The Rocking Horse. It says, one night when I was maybe 10 to 12, I had trouble falling asleep. My bedroom was on the entire top floor of our house, with my bed and such being on the left side, storage closets and play area being on the right. I was lying in bed when I heard a noise from the other side of the room, and to see a rocking horse begin to rock. I was sitting just outside one of the storage closet doors. It proceeded to rock its way halfway across the room and stopped dead under the ceiling lights. At this point, I was freaking out and just buried my head under my blankets and never peeked out again until the morning. It was all confirmed to not be a dream, as the rocking horse was still in the middle of my room when I woke up. Furthermore, I got a stern reprimand from my parents for being out of bed playing with my toys well past bedtime. Their bedroom was directly below the storage closet play area and had heard the creaking of the rocking horse shuffling across the room.
Oh, to the hell no! I'd have moved. I can't be in that room.
No.
Take the rocket horse. Mm-mm.
Whenever I was younger, because of the way I grew up, I always thought that ghosts meant that it was like supposed to be a message, something, or some friendly spirit or something. That's at least what I was taught growing up, and then I started learning maybe not all ghosts are very friendly.
Well, I don't know. Like when you're laying in bed and it's dark, and you're in bed and it's dark. I mean, like, let's clarify that it's dark and scary and you're in bed, and some rocking horse comes out of a closet and creaks its way across the floor.
Okay,
That's
real quick
pretty
correction.
damn scary and nefarious.
Real quick correction.
Like,
the rocking horse was on the other side. The kid was just happened to be next to the closet door. It says he was sleeping, and the rocking horse was across the room. He had the entire
Across
upper
the
floor,
room.
so he has the whole house
Okay.
basically worth of a room upstairs, and it
Okay.
moved all the way halfway across and stopped dead under the lights.
Yeah, because that made it better. So now this rocking horse sashays itself across the room in the dark at night while you're in bed trying to sleep. that's nefarious as all kinds of get out.
it's
Like,
I don't
nah,
know what type of message you're trying to send, but at least wait till the morning
yeah,
to send it.
yeah, that's like your car driving itself to the store to go get you a Coke.
Wait a second, this isn't a Tesla.
And Tesla, Elon Musk, hello there. Hi, Elon. We love you. We love you so much.
We
Feel
would
free
like you
to
to sponsor us.
at any time. We would love for you to sponsor us. We support everything you do. Tesla, Elon Musk, we love you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please sponsor.
You can call me anytime.
My number is
call me.
1-888-888-888-888.
My number is. My mom is Satan.
Would that actually fit if that was legit your number, including the area code?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It would. Yeah, it would, because Satan's only 5 letters. And
Yeah,
you have
Mom is
2,
Satan.
2, 3, and 5. That's 3, 3, 4.
Oh my. Yeah, I know. My youngest son actually met Elon Musk. So, Elon, I'm just saying, you've met my son. So, sponsors, Mom. Run to the family. Anywho.
So my other thought would be if they had decent enough technology, because it doesn't specify wooden, it just says a rocking horse. If they had good enough technology, if it was in any way remote controlled or had electrical wiring in it, because they do make some like that, I think they're rare, but it's a possibility, like a malfunction in it, and it caused it to rock back and forth, and just the way that it did it caused it to move until it got under the light, because then it explains that after it got there, it just completely failed.
Yeah, you can't debunk that, dude. There's that. No negative.
All right. Well, next
Negative.
story is called The Following. Excuse me. My
Good. Really?
Disgusting.
Hey. My older sister has a ghost that's followed her around for years. I lived with her once for about 3 months, and so much weird stuff happened at that time. All my sister would say to me when I mentioned it was that her ghost, quote unquote, didn't like me being there. Things like going to bed with everything locked up and switched off, and waking up in the morning with the back door open, lights on, and the kettle switched on. One night, my sister and I were getting ready to go out, and I asked to borrow her liquid foundation. I used it and put it back where she kept her makeup. 10 minutes later, she's asking me for it, and it was nowhere to be seen. She accused me of taking it and made me buy her a new one, and refused to listen to my side of the story. About a year or so later, when she was packing to move to a new house, she found the makeup in a shoebox with some old letters. The shoebox was in a zipped-up suitcase that was underneath her bed. But probably the most scared I've ever felt was one afternoon when I was the only one in the house, which never happened as 4 other people lived there. I arrived home from work and headed straight to the bathroom. All the doors, windows, etc. were closed. I was standing in the bathroom and started squeezing a pimple on my chin when a female voice in the hall said, "Stop picking your zits." It was loud enough and sounded real enough at the time. I thought it was my sister. So I laughed, told her to fuck off, and asked what she was doing for dinner. No answer. I stuck my head out of the hall. No one there. I searched the house top to bottom, and no one was home. I sat out on the front porch until someone else got home because I didn't want to be there alone.
Oh my. Okay, now I want to point out part of that story is in the morning the entity actually turned the kettle on. So that's kind of ghost you want. If you're gonna have one, I mean, like one that does handy things, like turns the coffee pot on, maybe does a dish or two, runs your bath water,
and leaves your back door wide open.
I mean, well, no. We don't want, no, not that part. We're trying to, but I mean, not to downplay the bad parts, but I mean, there was some good parts to the kettle on. The kettle was on. But I mean, and true, I mean, good advice. Don't pick your zits. You can't beat that. You can't, I mean, that's a ghost that's looking out for you. Now, how the heck could it have gotten a bottle of foundation into a box inside a suitcase under a bed, though? Because obviously ghosts are corporeal or whatever. They can manifest and demanifest, whatever you call it.
True.
But that monolith foundation is real. You can hold it in your hand, so it can't go through things. It can't go through walls. It can't. So how would it get in there? A ghost
Poltergeist.
can manipulate. It can manipulate something, but how would it have gotten it into there? You can't do that.
Poltergeist, because they're considered one of the few ghosts that can actually pick up and move things, and usually they're known to be just like rabid is not the word that I'm looking for, but they'll just like toss something or pick up the couch and fling it real quick. So there are cases where people consider it a poltergeist that like just like dragged their bed across the floor from one end of their room to the other, and they were in the room when it happened. And clearly there's nothing in there to do it, and they have marks on their like wood floor or something to prove it, because obviously
Right.
it's scratched up the floor. But that could be how it happened, because poltergeists are considered to be able to interact with actual physical objects and move them, pick them up and use them, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I
Right.
could
But
easily see them
when you're
being understanding to open a suitcase, put it in there, shove it back under.
right, but that's kind of elaborate. When you're dealing with like poltergeist activities, it's pretty simple. They're throwing stuff out of cupboards, they're flipping sofas, they're moving chairs across the floor, they're opening cabinets and drawers. I mean, they're being a nuisance. It's pretty scary, yeah. But when you look at it, it's pretty simple things that they're doing. When you're pulling a suitcase out, unzipping it, pulling a box out of the suitcase, putting a thing that you swiped into the box inside the suitcase, then you become a little more complicated. And I don't think that any poltergeist is up to that challenge when the things that you mentioned that poltergeists do are pretty simple.
True. Okay, then
Yeah, I
we
mean,
could
like,
jump straight to demon then, because demons are known to be able to actually interact with things too. Not all of them, but some, and they're able to interact with them in a pretty complex way, like drawing on walls and stuff. And they're really well done in a lot of cases too. When people wake up and they don't have kids and they see drawings on the wall, and obviously it's usually satanic. So pentagram or the goat with the horns and stuff and everything.
did you know that I believe it was the pentagram was an actual early Christian symbol?
Yeah, I actually read up on that, and it says that it was originally used to represent the 5 wounds of Jesus Christ, the one in his ribs, to his hands and his feet.
And his head.
No, no, the because they stabbed him in the side, so they made a hole in his side. They made 2 holes in his hands and 2 holes in his feet.
Oh, got you. Got you.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Legit. Yeah. Did we lose Fronter again?
Fronter, he's muted.
Fronter? Okay. He must have had to step away for a moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
no
So,
worries.
but when we're looking at these things, yeah, at the complexity of different things, again, though, but with the demon, would a demon actually just, do a disembodied voice saying, don't pick your zits? I mean, like, that's helpful advice. Keeps your face from scarring. You'd think a demon would want your face to be scarred.
True.
Right. I mean, so we look at these things, and so how much of this story is actually true? A lot of people take things and exaggerate these stories. Did they actually find the foundation inside a box, inside of a suitcase, or did they just find it under the bed?
Ooh.
Right. I mean, a lot of times people take things, they found it under the bed, inside a suitcase that was inside of a box.
Well,
or
in that
inside of a
case,
box
hey,
with a-
what if the other girl that was like, "Oh, you misplaced it or you stole it from me. You need to buy me another one." What if she forgot that she legitimately like did exactly that? But she said it was
yeah.
within 10 minutes. So, like, unless her sister's a complete dick and
No, there
just was
could have
like,
been
"Oh, here, let me just
poltergeist
shove it under
activity.
here." Yeah.
Because you really can't debunk a disembodied voice. I'm like telling you not to
Yeah.
pick your zits. You can't debunk that.
One
But
other thing,
so
though, hey, ghosts are considered to be able to take a physical object through walls with them too. It's
In
usually
movies.
small
Slowly
ones.
making it incorporeal.
Even in the mythology about them and like stories and legends about ghosts, they're considered to be able to take things with them. Hence why you won't see a door open, but you know that your razor was in the bathroom to shave with, and now it's in your bedroom sitting on your desk. And you know that you didn't take it out of the bathroom because you don't shave in your bedroom. You know,
Well, they can open doors.
they
I
can.
mean, we
But
yeah.
usually in a poltergeist case, they're reckless. They don't care about setting things straight and going out of their way to put things away. But then again, there's like a million different ghost types or something. Maybe not that many, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah,
So,
Phasmophobia taught me that.
so what you're saying is that poltergeists are like the evil Knievel of the paranormal world.
Basically, yeah. They kind of just, yeah, sure.
All right. So, so we've got Funter here, and he has a pretty good ghost story that he's going to share with our listeners today. So we're going to keep him on for the whole episode, but we're going to go ahead and listen to his story, and then we're going to discuss it.
Sweet.
Go ahead, Funter.
Some background. I used to live in a little town called Sullivan, Missouri. For those who are listening that live in Sullivan, I'm so sorry. I'm so glad I got out of that town. But in Sullivan, Missouri, there was a place called the Harney Mansion, better known as General Harney. He was, I think, a Civil War general. Well, it was actually a summer home mansion.
Excuse me. Did you say
Yeah.
horny?
Harney.
Horny. Okay.
You have to remind how the gutter Psycho.
Hey, Psycho. The sexual talk is another episode.
Oh yeah. Well,
Continue.
the thing about
The Horny Mansion.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
So I was trying to say, the Harney Mansion was, known. Pretty much everybody knew that it was supposedly haunted. Well, because of the place that I was living at the time, it was on the corner of Mansion and Duncan. Was this huge estate mansion? But because it was right by my house, that's where they designated it as the bus stop. This was back when I was in like elementary, middle school. So
Okay.
I was really young. I still remember this shit. And so everybody knew it was haunted and all that. And I still remember very vividly, there's multiple occurrences like where we'd just be waiting for the bus. And so as we go over by the building because it's raining, we need some shelter to stand under it. We look over and there's like a flash of...
We lost Funter. There was a flash of, and then nothing.
I dropped my phone.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh
okay.
no.
We lost Funter. I'm like right in the middle of it. We're like, whoa! I was just getting sucked in. Okay, go ahead, Funter. You were right in the middle of a sentence, and all of a sudden, boom, you were gone. Funter.
Yeah. Thing is,
Okay.
there's multiple times where like, it was raining and we needed a shelter, so we get underneath the awning of it. And we look over at the window, so all of a sudden there's a flash and we see a fucking face.
Was the house abandoned?
Yes. It was supposed to be
my.
a historic site. It was supposed to be a historic site.
Oh.
Oof.
Yeah, so like, see a flash, we freaking hear noises and shit.
What kind of noises?
I was people talking. We heard a scream once. Don't know if that was actually a ghost or just some homeless person. There was a really bad drug problem in that town.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh my. So yeah,
wild.
that is pretty scary. That is, especially as a young child to be standing, and a lot of times those buses come. It's like barely light out when you're waiting for the bus, and to have something like that happen and to see a face in what would be considered a vacant building would be that would definitely leave you with a lasting wait a sec.
Memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
It wasn't just me. It was like 5 other kids. And whenever that bus would come at 7:05, 7:10, we were glad to get on the bus because that freaked me out. I started actually walking to school Like, I think the beginning of 8th grade years, like, I ain't having that shit no more. I began walking the mile to school across town.
I would definitely have gone to the next bus stop for sure.
Oh no, I tried to, and they wrote me up for it. I wrote me, next time you
No.
bus stop. It's like,
Oh
I had to get
no.
possessed and shit. It's like, so I
Oh,
just ended up
no.
walking to school because, yeah, shit was whack.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm getting. Hey, Aiko, while you're on your computer there, why don't you look up the Horny Mansion there in
Not horny, not horny. My God. Kill, what am I gonna do with you? Like, oh.
That's why
The
they call me-
horny
and that-
mansion.
and that's
Oh my
why they
God.
call me Psycho.
It's a new.
Sounds like an adult movie parody.
No, I actually did Google the horny mansion just to see what came up, and it says there's something on Newgrounds.com. So there's apparently a Flash game or something called the Horny Mansion on Newgrounds. Anyway,
Note
so
to self.
what's
Let
it
me just
spelled
put
again?
to my note.
How's it spelled again?
Horny. The Horny. It's Harney. Horny Mansion.
The Horny Mansion.
The
Jeremy
Horny
Harney,
Mansion.
Omaha.
The Harney Mansion on Facebook. I don't care about that. Harney Mansion about St. Louis.
It's in Sullivan.
Sullivan, Missouri.
The
Yes.
Harney Mansion, located in Sullivan, is on the National Register of Historical Places. The mansion was built in 1856 by Dr. Alson Leffingwell, a St. Louis doctor. The home was purchased sometime before 1872 by General William S. Harney used it for his family summer home. General Harney was involved in the Civil War, the Mexican-American War, and the Indian Wars. The home went through many owners after Harney moved back to Florida in 1884. It eventually became the property of the city of Sullivan, who deeded it to the now named Harney Mansion Foundation, which is restoring the property. Private tours can be arranged. Several organizations who know about these things claim that the Harney Mansion is haunted. All right, Psycho, I know where we're going for a live podcast.
I think that would be awesome. I was
No,
just
at
thinking we
at
should do that.
At least pick me up for this so I can at least guide you through Sullivan.
Absolutely,
Fair
we
enough.
would take you. We would
I
take
lived
you.
there for 9 years. I will guide you there. I know that place like the back of my hand.
Yeah, just for the record, I'm not talking about going there during the day. I'm talking about like an overnight stay. You don't get any
We
ghost activity in the daytime.
No, I mean,
We
it's
should-
like, I know some places that you can stay, like a motel you can stay for cheap. That's actually really good. Stayed there a couple times.
Okay.
We should definitely get a hold of the foundation to see if they'll allow us to do an overnighter, and then and do like a little ghost tour, and take me, your scared friend, and we will have a great time.
We're just gonna wrap you in bubble wrap, then you'll be safe.
I don't know about that. They can get through if they can walk through walls and get through bubble wrap. Next thing
Yeah,
you
but
know,
here's the thing. They walk through
Like it
you
starts
too, so they
popping.
can't actually grab you because you're completely wrapped up.
Well, I don't know about. I'm not
Like,
buying
we're
that.
just standing there, and all of a sudden, all the bubble wrap starts being popped one by one in a really satisfying manner.
Oh my goodness.
We just wrap her in several
Lord.
layers. Just wrap her in. You know what? Even better. You can't pop
You're
a
right.
pillow.
Keep the ghost busy.
You can't.
No,
You
that's
can't
right. No,
pop
we
a
gotta keep
pillow.
the ghost busy. We gotta keep the ghost busy.
Oh yeah, we're just gonna leave Psycho in the middle of a room while we investigate the rest of that. Here, stay here for a little bit. Here's your gun, so that you can shoot us through the walls. Spray and pray.
Rude. Okay, first off, we're not taking guns. I'm like, no, no.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: the legends go that salt is a weakness of ghosts, and they do legitimately have salt shotguns. It just shoots
Oh,
a spritz of salt.
it's called bug assault. It's called a
Yes.
assault gun. It's called bug
Yeah.
assault.
Yeah,
I
you
do
just
have
load it
one.
with salt. You just load it with salt, and you can literally shoot the ghost.
I
Oh,
pretty
I
much
used to
guarantee
do
if they're rehabbing this home and they're doing whatever they're doing, they're not going to be real happy to come in and have a whole bunch of salt all over the place. I'm just
We're just gonna make a nice little campsite. Put some salt, some rock salt circles around the campsite.
oh no. No.
I ain't fucking. Whenever it comes to ghosts, I don't fuck around.
Yeah, we need to collab with another group for that one because no. No.
Dude, I want to go so bad with Jake the Viking and like be in a video with him. That would be amazing. 'Cause
Yeah.
Well,
he does all
do
those
your
videos.
plug. Do your plug now. I did one to Elon Musk. It's your turn. Go ahead. Do your plug.
Jake the
Plug it.
Viking, if you ever do see this video, please reach out to me. Absolutely love to take part in one of your stay overnights at a haunted place episodes or something. That would be incredible. In real life,
And
I'm
I'll
actually a
possibly
wuss
be your
because
guide.
I could watch people play horror games and I could sit there and laugh because they always have the reactions and everything. But then when you're the one playing it and you're not watching someone make the dumbest faces on the face of the earth and like scream in the highest pitches for someone who has such a deep manly voice,
It's
you're
truly
terrified. So we're gonna go somewhere haunted in real life, and
Yes.
it's not a video game on a screen. I
Yeah.
am already done. So yes, please sign me up. Reach out to me.
You know, a place I would love to go to and stay in one of the haunted rooms is the Stanley Hotel in Colorado.
Heck yeah, that would Lynch Brewery in St. Louis.
Google.com Stanley Hotel, Colorado.
Yeah, that one is 10
Ghost.
Shades of Haunted. Oh, yeah, that one's
The
got a bunch
most
of haunted
haunted
rooms.
hotel in Colorado. Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh,
Tell me,
yeah.
Are the rates at least cheap?
No, they're expensive.
Does at least come with the continental breakfast?
I believe it might. I believe it does come with I don't know.
I'm about to say, if it doesn't come with the continental breakfast, it's kind of a deal breaker for me.
I know, right? At least a cocktail or something. Something. Coffee. Give me some coffee. A whole pot or something. A whole pot of coffee. For real, for real. Yeah, so the Stanley Hotel, they use that movie for
The Shining.
The Shining. Oh yes, and that movie.
That's what the Overlook Hotel was based off of.
The Overlook Hotel
Yeah.
from The Shining is fictional, but I'm on their website. It says nightlyspirits.com, Stanley Hotel Ghost Stories. It's mentioning Stephen King and in The Shining, and the fact that the Stanley Hotel has been called Disneyland for ghosts. It has hosted countless
Which
paranormal
one are we talking
investigations.
about? Are we talking about the Shining movie or the Shining miniseries that Stephen King did?
Book, as in written by Stephen King.
And then the movie.
It's quoting.
movie.
It's more particularly quoting his stuff from that, but it's initially he wrote it based on this.
On the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah. Though
And
the
they have-
Overlook Hotel from The Shining is fictional, as are the characters. Room 217, the one that King stayed
Yes.
in and is prominent in the novel, remains the Stanley's most requested accommodation. I can assure you there is no woman in the bathtub, but that doesn't mean that the room is not haunted.
Yes, and I've seen different ghost hunter shows where they've had things happen in that hotel and in that specific room that were definitely undebunkable. So they couldn't debunk it. And it would definitely be interesting to go to that location and check it out and get the vibes there and see what's going on. But
we could even stay in the fourth floor. This says that the fourth floor is also prominent. It says guests staying on the fourth floor report hearing children running around, laughing, giggling, and playing. The closet doors tend to open and shut on their own. More than a century ago, the entire fourth floor was a cavernous attic. Later, it became lodging for female employees, children, and nannies. Could it be that the Grady twins are more than fabrications of King's macabre imagination? It also mentions Pet Cemetery a couple more down. It says, existing long before King's novel Pet Cemetery, there stood an actual pet cemetery outside of the Stanley Hotel. There are two beloved pets interred here. Sorry, I read that wrong. That like to make appearances around the hotel. Cassie, the golden retriever, and Comanche, a fluffy white cat, have both been seen and heard all around the property, but apparently they're dead.
That would be a ghost
Zion?
I would not
Thank
be
you for
afraid of.
joining.
I definitely would not be afraid. Yeah, I would not be afraid to see a ghost of a golden retriever. I'd be like, I want to pet the ghost dog. I want to pet the ghost dog. I'm going to give the dog a lovins.
Did you not read Pet Cemetery? or
There's
watch
a
the
difference.
movie.
the movie.
That was a zombie. That was a zombie dog in a
Those
zombie
were those were risen from the grave. We're talking about ghosts, not zombies. I agree with Fronter.
And plus, don't forget there was entire Indian burial ground stuff, so that's a factor. But if it's just a ghost,
Yeah.
that probably means that they're just as adorable as they were as when they were alive.
Yeah.
I'm going to quote
Indian
something from the
burial
Bible.
grounds.
Satan even appears to you as a wolf in sheep's clothing. And that
Then
being
I'll
said,
I'll
a
pet
pet
Satan.
ghost with evil, vicious attempts and horrible nature.
Then that will be the hill I die on. That will be the hill I die on then.
I am struggling to read these words. These words are hard to read today.
I'm not reading anything. I was
You're
saying
having a
that.
stroke reading that. You're having a stroke reading it.
Yeah, you want to just get
Jesus.
mauled by an evil dog? Like, if you get killed by a ghost, you're going to come back as a ghost. You don't get to go to heaven. You know? That's kind of like the thing with that. If a ghost freaking kills you, you're stuck on Earth for the rest of your life. You're going to end up bitter, just as bitter as every other ghost. It's no wonder they
But I
like
don't think
haunting
a
people.
ghost-
It's the only enjoyment they have.
But ghosts can't kill you. Only you could kill yourself from fear of a ghost, but the ghost itself can't kill you. We're
Reminder that
protected from that.
poltergeists can throw furniture and stuff, which means it can kill you. It just throws a
Okay,
knife at your
yeah.
head.
Yeah, but it's not like a ghost can jump on you, like strangle you. That's only in the movies.
Hold on, I'm Googling this.
Right?
Give me a sec.
I need to know this. Okay, listen, we're putting a call out to anybody who's been physically attacked by a ghost who almost killed them. I need to know, like, what happened. So, with that being said, let's talk about Indian burial grounds, because when you're talking about like Indian burial grounds and hauntings, a lot of times, like I know, like with the Conjuring movies, didn't they say like from the first Conjuring movie that house was built like on an Indian burial ground? Talking
Yeah,
about like
I-
the Amityville
Something like that.
house, the same
I've
thing.
never seen any of those movies. I've never
Scariest
seen The
movies I've
Conjuring.
ever seen.
Okay, but
God,
if you
all the Conjuring movies
if
are
you
scary.
remember my story from the last episode about waking up in the middle of the night with the thing standing over me, and then it jabbed me in the side. Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes, yes.
felt
And you were
that thing vanished. That was a demon or ghost or whatever.
yes.
And it literally used its hand and touched me. It didn't have anything in its hand. It jabbed me in the side with its hand. So yes, a ghost can absolutely kill you.
You didn't die.
Can. I didn't say it did.
But you didn't die. So how do you know for a fact it could kill you? You didn't die. For as
What about
far
all
as
the
we
people that-
know,
what about
my
all the people
original
that did die?
hypothesis stands is that it infested you with little baby smoke demons up underneath your ribs. We don't know.
Let's see. Quora.com. I'm just going to check the first thing. Excuse me. I can only answer with secondhand
OMG.
information that I read myself. Blah, blah, blah.
We got to come up with some ground rules on this public belching.
What? Don't drink anything for the whole stream? Yeah, no.
So anyway, going back to the Indian burial grounds. So, but I believe that the first Conjuring movie, they said that house was built on or near Indian burial grounds. When we're talking about like the Pet Cemetery Indian burial grounds, we're talking about Amityville House, Indian burial grounds. I've heard something like that. It depends on what you're reading and where you're reading it from. So, I mean, like, what do Indian burial grounds have with like hauntings of like that? It's absolutely insanity. But the fact is that, you know, negative energy exists. What it is, we're who can be certain? Is it demons? Is it ghosts? Is it what is it?
It's
And
emotions.
that's a good question.
It's emotions. Like people have even theorized this. It's emotions. Because if you're in a place and you have negative thoughts and emotions, you influence what happens around you. That's why when people get more and more negative, more spiritual and ghostly encounters and things happen. And that's when you start hearing their voices, because you're internally, subconsciously, whatever, you're freaking out. You're having negative thoughts. You're worried. You're stressed. You're anxious. And that
And why
feeds the
haven't
dead
I
person.
heard any of them? I heard
Hey,
any
here's-
of them.
Because you're not living in a haunted place. You're just living in a
here's the
place with
question, though.
shitheads.
Like the movie The Exorcist, I believe was supposed to be based on a true
Yeah.
story of a possible person who had been possessed by a demon. And my question is when we're watching The Exorcist, Reagan, the possessed girl, spins her head completely around, all the way around, and then at the end of the movie, she survives the possession,
fine.
and there's
No
nothing
broken
wrong with her neck. How
That's
is
like-
that possible? Did that really happen? So I know based on means loosely based. So maybe the whole head spin was just for theatrical effect. But at the end of the day, you know, you look at these different possession stories. I know there was another one, the possession of Emily Rose, where, and I believe that happened in Europe, where the family believed the girl was possessed and she was doing all these weird things. And I would have been led to believe this child was possessed from even just reading the stories from the family, not just watching the movie. Because I watched the movie and I researched it. I was like, well, how could that happen? And
Right.
you know, she had some serious things happen to her, and you know, before actually becoming possessed or going through her fits or whatever, you know. And it's just unfortunate that the exorcism actually killed her. But I know, like, the Catholic Church has been doing exorcisms, you know, ever since they came up with the Catholic Church. So, you know, demons.
Yeah,
Say
Zion
it
says
again?
the head thing never really happened in real life.
Yeah, it had to have been loosely based.
Yeah, well, it's also a legal thing. Actually, they cannot ever say in like any movie ever anymore, or they can receive major legal action and like being sued and everything from all sorts of companies to state that something is straight up a true story. That's why it has to say based on, and they can use elements from it, but there's always going to be something different and stuff. But you can't just straight up
Right.
call anything a true story anymore unless it is strictly like yours.
Yeah, and it definitely has to be. They need to put a better disclaimer instead of saying based on a true story. They need to say loosely based on a true story. Because if you're watching that, you know, The Exorcist, and you're thinking, wow, how did she survive twisting her neck all the way around? You know, because there's no way you could survive that. I don't know that a demon could actually manipulate a body to the point of doing that. And that's a good question to even like think about. Is that even possible? Could a demon actually do that? I don't want to test that theory, though. I'm just putting it out there.
I don't want to test it out
Am I
either.
gonna
I'm not
have to-
going out of
am
my
I
way to
gonna
get
have to be a-
possessed.
Am I gonna have to be the test? Am I gonna have to be the test subject for this?
My hand,
No.
psycho. My hand is raised. Yes.
No, no.
That's two
I'm
beats
kidding.
three. That's two votes against one.
I'm
It's two
kidding.
votes
Negative.
against one.
I'm
Let me go
kidding,
get the
no.
Ouija board. I'm pretty sure we got one. We got one somewhere on this
Yeah.
damn center.
Okay. Yeah. Take that. Take it outside. Pour some gasoline on it and light it on fire. If it doesn't burn,
But you know,
definitely don't use it.
Oh, no.
if I do, then I gotta buy a new one. Then I gotta buy the center a new one. And I don't get
Well,
that
I mean-
money.
My brain totally misheard you. I thought you said that I'm just gonna go get the Mountain Dew one.
Oh my gosh.
Mountain Dew
No,
made a
I
Ouija
think-
board, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Now somebody just brought up a Ouija board. Now, when you're talking about Ouija boards, now I've heard of people who've used Ouija boards.
Yep.
Right, and then they open portals into the unknown, and then they tried to dispose of this Ouija board, and then had the Ouija board actually come back. Now, these are true stories. Found those on the Google. I love the Google, and
Yes, the Google.
the Google is amazing. I don't know how, honestly, my people, you know, us older people ever survived without the Google. So
The
the Google is everything. I mean, anybody ever asks you a question, you know, like 20 years ago, you were like, okay, well, let me figure that out for you. Or you'd have to do something, get it insight. I don't even remember how we did it. We probably got encyclopedias and dictionaries and thesauruses and things like that out and tried to figure it out, newspapers. I don't know. But now we're just like, oh, just Google it. Everything's
Yeah.
like, Google it. Oh, well, how do you tie a shoe? Oh, Google that. Oh, well, I still can't figure it out. Well, then go to YouTube and watch a video. Well, how awesome is that? Moving back, I'm like, oh, the Google is awesome. So moving on. Sorry, I love Google.
Google is run by dead
Sorry,
people.
shameless.
No, I'm kidding.
I, perhaps.
The pause in your voice, like, huh?
Yeah, it threw me off. I was like, oh wait, I can go with it. Let's do this. Anyway,
Ouija
yeah.
boards
So
were
moving.
most times proven to be fake. Very rarely does a real thing when it happens. And yeah,
Now,
Conjuring and Annabelle were based on real stories because
yes,
they're the two that are portrayed in the movie were real people that actually do have one of the original Raggedy Ann dolls that was called
yes,
Annabelle, and it was considered possessed, and it was actually locked up in a case because of how haunted it was considered to be and was at the time.
yes.
Robert the doll. That's the only thing I can really think of whenever I think of like truly haunted dolls is Robert the doll.
Ooh, isn't that the one down in the Keys in Florida? The scary looking doll. Holy moly, that
Yeah, the
doll
one that
is.
you have to ask to take its picture, or else you'll get haunted and shit.
Robert the
I
Doll in
knew.
Key West, Florida. Great, thanks guys.
Yes.
Who wants to move to Florida with me?
You already, yeah, right there in Florida, you have the haunted lighthouse. Now I've been there. When I did the haunted St. Augustine tour, my friends and I went across over to the haunted lighthouse on our own, and we were just standing right outside there. We could smell cigar smoke. We were the only ones there. It was nighttime. Cigar, the old cigar smell, and we could smell it. And we saw somebody moving in the upper level of the house itself that was attached to the lighthouse. Pretty awesome to see, and it was pretty scary. We enjoyed it. It was great. We left very fast. Um, yeah, the smell itself wasn't so bad. It was the seeing things. So that was like a double experience for me because I got my shirt pulled when we were inside the Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, and then we went over to the haunted lighthouse. But I want to tell you guys a story about a Ouija board. And I actually witnessed this because I was there. I was a participant in this nonsense. So my friends and I had a Ouija board. I think I was in my very early 20s. And we had a Ouija board and we were playing with it. And this thing actually levitated. It lifted off the table. Nobody was touching it. It lifted off the table and then went back down. And we were using it, and it was going across the board, and it was doing its thing and spelling out. I can't remember what it spelled out. It was just crazy. And then all of a sudden, it was like scraping across the board, like it was going, like, it was, yeah, more like, I'm not really good with noises. And we looked, and the felt tips on the bottom of the indicator were gone. They were gone, just gone. We hadn't lifted that thing up. We just were literally one finger on it, and it was just rolling. It was all over the place. It was the scariest moment I think I ever had. And yeah, I was having nightmares after that. I kept dreaming about this like witch person with, it looked like it was wearing this. It was scary looking. It was, oh my God, it was awful. And it took me forever to get over it. But it was the scariest thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
It was scary. It was super scary. It was like, and I knew it was a witch person. It was like, and it was like a demon. It was scary. I did no. We got rid of that. We did not do that again.
Yeah, I'm good. I've never done it except for in Phasmophobia because you can antagonize the ghost using it in the game to like get a reaction, but it also will let you know what room the ghost is primarily in to give you a better chance at winning too.
No, I to the point where, let me tell you, with these little predictor things like that, and the magic 8 ball and the tarot cards and the things like that. I remember there was a fast food restaurant that was giving out in their Happy Meals the little magic 8 balls, little mini ones. You ask it a question, and and it would answer. We were at the mall. My kids got a Happy Meal, and it came with a stupid Magic 8 Ball. And I remember my sister was playing with it, and she asked it a question, and it gave her an answer. And I said, I grabbed that thing from her, and I had 2 boys. I grabbed my other son's little Magic 8 Ball, put those things right in the damn trash.
What was the question?
Yes,
and what
we
was
did.
the answer?
It answered the question accurately. That's why I was like, oh no, we're not doing that.
Oops.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Not at all. Yeah. So I can't remember what the question was. This is quite some time ago. But somehow my kids ended up getting another one of those Magic 8 Balls. And this one was a full size one. I don't know if one of their friends gave it to them, who gave it to them. I did not buy it. We did not play with those types of toys. Well, my kids had this thing, and this is a true story. And my son remembers this. My oldest son will tell you. We'll have him on one day, and he'll tell you about this. I took that Magic 8 Ball from them when I saw them with it, and I threw it out my apartment window. My screen slid up so I could clean my windows and whatnot. I just threw it out the window thinking some other kid would grab it. And the next, like an hour later, it was back in my apartment. My kids did not go outside because I was in the living room. They would have had to come by me to get outside. They did not go out. It was back in my apartment. So I don't know. I couldn't debunk that. I'm like, I don't know how it got back in there. But I ended up giving it to somebody else, and then it was gone forever. So praise the Lord on that.
Did they both happen to have one? That's the only reason I could see that it quote unquote got back in your house. Because if they both had one and you only caught one of them, since they originally both did have one, according to you, if both of them had one, then you just found the other one and threw it out too and gave it to someone else.
Yeah.
Because
That's a good question.
I will argue the fact that it is pretty well known that as far as Magic 8 Balls go, it's an 8-sided die with random answers on it. You shake it up and it floats to the top. So you shake it up, the die rolls, it floats back up to the top, and that's literally it. That's why like you can literally get a different answer almost every time. For like, am I ever going to get married? Am I going to fall in love one day? Am I going to kill someone one day?
Go to the Google and look up Magic 8 Ball in conjunction with like Ouija boards and other predictive things like that. And it comes back as a type of like a portal type dealio. Yeah, it's not something you really want to mess with. And that is why my kids weren't allowed to have it. And maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I'm psycho soccer mom, psycho dog mom, whatever you want to call me. But I'm psycho to begin with.
Is there something occultic about the Magic 8 Ball? John Cadler says, no, not at all. If you take it apart, you will find a baby food jar almost full of water and dried black. Floating in the water is a plastic polyhedron with random yes, no, check later, etc. printed on each face. Whichever face randomly happens to be face up on the die floated to the top, there's your answer. The 8 Ball was chosen because it is solid black, and in some games of pool, you lose if you sink the 8 Ball before the end of the game. You put together by a big machine in a factory.
Listen, clearly you did not understand me. Anything that you can ask a question and get a prediction is not oh my God, with my words. It's not good. It's not a good thing, and that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so humans are definitely not good things.
Yeah, series definitely isn't good.
Humans are definitely not good.
Okay, it's the same concept. It's the same concept as asking your Ouija board. Okay, are you there? The Ouija board says yes or no.
Okay, the only problem. No. Okay, no, because here's the thing: the Ouija board is a piece of wood with another piece of wood with a piece of glass in the center of it. There's no magnets or anything. There's no wheels for it to roll on. There's no remote control for it or anything. It's not a random dice inside of floating liquid that when you shake it up, it rolls the dice and floats back up on a random side. That's like saying that if you just grab a dice or take apart the
wait.
Here, you could do the same thing with taking the Magic 8 Ball apart, take the polyhedron out, the dice, roll it, and ask a question. Same thing is going to happen. You're going to land on an answer. And in the same, but the difference being is that the Ouija board, unless somebody is moving that thing to each letter, it is not going to give you an answer. So if it does, there is something very wrong with that. But an 8-ball is
It
literally just
can
a
be
ball floating with numbers on it.
8 ball is the same concept as the Ouija board. It can still be manipulated by an unseen entity answering questions that you're asking it. It has preset answers similar to the Ouija board. Now, the Ouija board has an
Fair.
alphabet on it, and that's the only difference. And that is what I'm saying is anything that you could take a deck of cards and turn them into a tarot card deck. But when you take that deck of cards and you're just playing euchre or poker, it's just euchre or poker. But when you take those cards and you start using them to communicate with unseen entities, demons or ghosts or whatever,
Fair.
then you've taken those cards and you've turned them into a device that can be manipulated.
That is true, because especially when we talked about the fact that, if ghosts exist and, poltergeist sort of thing, they could reach into the 8-ball and flip it to whatever they want. So true. I'll give it that after thinking about it.
Yeah, precisely. It's the same concept. And that is why that thing was banned in my home. I'm like, anything that you can ask a question to and get an answer. And when my sister did it at the mall, she asked the same question and got the same answer more than once, which is why I was like, no. Yeah, I wasn't
That's
clear.
fair. Yeah, if you had said that, I would have been like way more weirded out, because that's pretty rare, since each side of an 8-sided die, it has something different written on it.
Again,
Even by just a little bit, yeah.
Am I a freak? Probably.
Yes.
But I did the best I could do. And I said no. And my kids didn't miss out on anything. Literally, their lives are not ruined because they didn't get to have a magic 8-ball. So,
If it was, you'd have to wonder if they were possessed at that point. So, yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. They had a dog. So I'm like, you got a dog, you got a cat. I'm like, you're good. You got pets, you got video games, you got all these things. You don't need a magic 8-ball.
Okay, that's fair.
There. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to Walmart to get a magic 8-ball. I'm kidding.
Now.
I think there's like a cult store down the road. I'm going to get me a Ouija board with the magic 8-ball.
You might as well get a deck of tarot cards too and just start whipping it out.
Yeah, that's how I get kicked out of the house.
Yeah, now we can move on to some other ghost stories, and I'll tell you another one where my youngest son decided to start dabbling in the occult and the paranormal, and he bought himself a deck of tarot cards, and he started using them to try to communicate with the unseen.
Uh-oh.
And and we started having a little issues around the house, mainly with him. And I was out one night with my boyfriend at the time, and I got a call from him, and he was like, "Mom, there's somebody under the house." I lived in a modular home, and he's like, "Everywhere I go, they're underneath me knocking." And I'm like, "What?" And he was like, "I'm scared. I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Okay, well," his brother lived right around the corner, so I had him call his brother. His brother went underneath the house. There's nobody there. My son is hearing all of this noise. Now, after all this happened, my house, I thought my house was awesome. Everything was light and happy and springy and wonderful. And everything was just perfect. I loved my house. Had 4 bedrooms, big living room, huge kitchen. Everything was just perfect in my house. I had this 1 bedroom that used to be my son's room. And I had moved him out of that room and into a different room because I wanted to redo that room and turn it into something else. And my office. Yeah. So, and I wanted to move him farther down the hallway. So I didn't hear his TV in the living room and things like that. So we moved him farther down the hallway to the last room, and it was bigger. So he would have been happier anyway. Okay. So once he moved out of that room got really scary. Now, I had a friend of mine come in from out of town. She stayed for a week, and I set that room up as a guest room for her. And she slept in there after the first night. She goes, "There is something weird in that room." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I didn't say anything to her. Like, I was creeped out about that room. Really creeped me out. Just that room. And she goes, "In the middle of the night, I just kept hearing like whispering." people were whispering, and I'm like, oh my goodness. After that, she didn't sleep in that room. She ended up sleeping on the sofa. They had a really nice sofa, so it was comfortable for her. But yeah, she was uncomfortable in that room, and nobody was really comfortable in there. I used to just keep the door shut, and every once in a while the door would just open itself. I could never figure out why the door would do that. Just periodically would open
Did you
itself. And I'm like, oh,
lock
that's
it
great.
and then shut it?
No, I just shut the door.
Okay.
Just shut the door, and it would latch. It would latch. You know, I checked it, pushed on it, made sure it was latched, and
Well, yeah, but
once in a while it would
that's
just open itself.
that would creep me out more if you lock the door, latch it, and you find it open later. Then you really have to start
Yeah.
questioning things because something's definitely up.
Yeah, that room, and I had a few people that would come over, and that room was definitely creepy. That room, it was super duper creepy. And I did get his tarot cards. I found them in his room, and I took them. They were gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got rid of those. I was like, we're not doing that either. So, no. Yeah, he was like, "Where's my? Hey, mom, have you seen my?" I'm like, no, I didn't see nothing. You better clean your room. Yeah. So.
Well, now he's gonna know the truth when he listens to our podcast.
Hmm.
You never know. I don't care.
I know. I'm just kidding. Dun dun dun.
It's my house. I will do what I want when you're haunting it. No. When you are to the point where you're afraid, to be in my home, which wasn't spooky to begin with, and now you're afraid to be in my home, we got problems. Yeah, I'm getting calls like, oh, there's things knocking up underneath the house, and no. We don't do that.
All right, at least
Hey,
I
you
didn't
guys,
call in case I hear anything under my house.
I've got to head out. I just got told that there was something that arrived for me.
All right,
man.
it was nice to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us.
And thanks for having me. I hope that you guys have a lovely day. To all the viewers, thank you for listening to my BS for the past hour.
We enjoyed it. We enjoyed you, Funter. And we'll definitely have you on for one of the zombie episodes. That'll be a good time to just talk about that.
That'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
We're gonna do at least a 3-parter for that because you can go pretty in depth with zombies and zombie apocalypse and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna go deep into that.
Oh yeah, zombies! Hell yeah, the undead.
So have a
All
good
right.
day, everyone, and I'm out. See ya.
Pasta
see
la
ya.
vista. All right.
All right, so
And-
we can actually do a quick topic on zombies when it comes to paranormal, real quick, so that we can finish it off. But if you think about it,
Okay.
is a zombie not possessed, and it's just a really dull spirit that is not capable of much because they're possessing a body that is no longer alive? Something to think about.
Well, it's a reanimation.
Well, yeah, but
And
they prove,
I
you would have to have at least some electrical signal in the brain to cause any motor function at all.
people have been fascinated with reanimating the dead for a long time. I mean, look at Mary Shelley's story about Frankenstein. We go back and we look at that. What was Frankenstein? Frankenstein literally was dead and arose. So he would be considered a zombie, not a brain eater or anything like that, or trying to eat your flesh and pass on zombieism or anything like that. But, and people have been fascinated with raising the dead forever. I think they're even in the in some of these demonology books, there's people trying to raise their lost ones. People get desperate. They miss their loved ones when they pass and want to bring them back. That's pretty scary. But what could it be? Could it be like a virus? Is it possession? Is it anything? I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, when we look at I guess it would depend on the type of zombie that you're dealing with. I mean, I would consider it to be like a possession if it was like those zombies that crawl across the ceilings and stuff and can climb and do all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and move fast. But if you're talking about
a zombie is capable of running. It's after it decays that you have to worry, because if someone just dies, gets bit by a zombie, and turns into a zombie, it's going to still take several hours to a couple days for the body to rot away enough that they would be considered as Walking Dead calls them walkers,
Yeah.
because um, it still comes down to initially they would have to need to feed at some point on something to keep some sort of nutrition in the body to keep it alive, the minimal amount that is needed for it to function in the first place. And even Resident Evil kind of like brought up a fact that you know the way they say that the virus works in Resident Evil, at least in the movies, I don't remember if it's that same way in the games, is that when the people died after inhaling the virus and it killed them, the brain holds a small electrical charge for a few hours or something after you die, and it's
Hmm.
only because you have that you're reanimated. And then they go out of their way to show completely rotting undead coming out of the graves in Resident Evil 2, which completely nullifies what they said in the first place.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And they did similar to that in The Walking Dead. I believe it was the first season when they made it to was the first season, I think.
I
Yeah.
have no
They
idea.
made
I
it to
didn't watch it.
well, they made it to the CDC and they found a guy at the CDC there in Atlanta.
Oh, I did see that
And
one.
yeah, they showed that the guy's wife had turned zombie, and they showed her brain was completely inactive, and then all of a sudden her brain went active again as she came back.
That's
And
true.
yeah, and but now in The Walking Dead, now you see The Walking Dead is like progressed so that you kind of see that there's fresher zombies and then there's the decayed zombies. But now they have these zombies are literally like just a little bit of meat on their bones. That's it. I'm like, there's not much left to them, but they're still walking. And I'm like, how is that possible? Because wouldn't you need that sinew and all that to hold the bones together?
See, according to the creator, and I read this online because I found an article or something on how are the zombies still alive after all these years when they're completely rotten away. He said that it's going to be revealed eventually. He has a reason for why, and it makes sense. And I'm still waiting to find out what the hell that is, because yeah,
Well,
it comes down to that. Zombie apocalypse initially would be a waiting game. If a zombie actual apocalypse happened, if the people in the entire world are stupid enough to not actually take action and let it, break down the world's economy and systems and thrash us so bad that you have maybe a couple 100,000 people or something living on the planet now with the undead, you'd still legitimately only have to starve them out or live in a colder climate, because since there's no blood flow, they would immediately freeze. The reason we don't go outside and freeze is because of our blood flow. It takes time for you to freeze to death and literally like ice in your veins, legit, like frozen blood and stuff. So zombies don't have that. They don't have that, which means a colder climate is your best bet. So you get north and you just live in the winter, and they're all dead. Any that come north and get into that cold, dead,
yeah,
gone,
I
bye.
think they pointed that out, I believe, in World War Z. And then also in The Walking Dead, I just kind of want to point out that in this latest season, now Walking Dead's in its final season, but they're coming out, I guess, with Isle of the Dead. And
Interesting.
I guess they're going to have, there's a new mutation of walkers. Now that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like Dying Light 2, because Dying Light
I
1,
guess,
they created a virus, it got released, everybody turned into zombies. They nuked places and they made a cure for it and everybody's good. But the same freaking idiots that made the first one kept testing it and seeing how far they could go with it. And what do you know? They created a new strain that is far faster and more deadly than the original one. And the best part is that according to the game, if you're bitten, you're infected permanently. So
ooh,
far, so far. I'm only a little ways into the game. I need to start streaming again. But
yeah,
they're trying to find a cure, because here's the thing: in the daylight you're fine. UV light from the sun actually causes you not to go into your zombified state. If your character is out in the middle of the night and you don't find a place with UV lights, there's a little thing, a timer basically at the top with a skull in the center, and once it gets all the way, you turn into a zombie and you just die. Your character freaking dies and you become a zombie because you're bitten in the game.
Ugh.
And I'm just like, that
Yeah.
it makes the
Ooh,
game
that's rough.
very interesting, and it makes it, you have to plan things out, because a lot of the good stuff in the game that you need to get, you have to do that stuff at night, which means you are
Hmm.
on a time limit.
I'll tell you what, Zombieland is a good one for zombies too.
I love those movies.
Me too. They're one of my favorites. But the second one, Zombieland, I love Double Tap. That's why you hear me when we're playing Arizona Sunshine. I'm yelling Double Tap.
No wonder you don't have any ammo. You keep shooting the already dead zombie.
I like to double tap, but
You're getting one
I
pack of
learned
ammo
that.
from me, and then you can ask for more when you run out.
Whatever. So, so with that being said, when we went into the second the second zombie land, they had 4 different kind of zombies, the slow dumb ones, which are my favorite. Those ones definitely could survive those. But they had 2 really scary ones, the hunter ones that were really fast, and
Yeah.
like the ninja ones. Those were scary.
The ones that you can shoot them in the head and then they get back up? Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did not want to die at all. They were like hard to kill, super hard to kill.
That
They had
was
rough.
very ridiculous. I liked that as an add-on, because usually you look at zombies and you go, oh yeah, just shoot them in the head and they're gone. They're like, oh, just shoot them in the head with an entire clip of ammo and they're still coming at you. I'm just like, okay, that does make it far more terrifying. But
Yeah.
considering that there are people, and it's like excruciatingly high luck or chance that they're even alive from having literally half of their head blown off with a shotgun, and they're still alive, and it's a miracle that they're alive at all. And they, of course,
Yeah.
because they're missing half their brain, they can't function. I think they could still
Zo-
think to some degree, but like,
Right.
yeah, so
Right. Zombies you don't want to have nothing to do with. Them World War Z zombies. Them things are fast and they can climb and they pile up. Oh my Lord, have mercy.
yeah.
They were woo.
Well, didn't they point out that those
ooh.
ones were like essentially like the rabies virus for humans, basically? Because think that the rabies makes you rabid. It makes you just crazy in the head and stuff if you get it and you have it bad, especially in animals. That's why they're considered rabid animals, and they called it rabies in the first place because it comes off of the name rabbit, I believe, in terms of like making them more animalistic and stuff. So
well, I don't know. The movie and the book were so different. I know in the book it was like somebody had gotten bitten in another country. I'd have to reread the book. But gotten bitten in another, and it just spread. It just spread everywhere. But they had gotten bitten from inside a lake or a pond or something, from something that was at the bottom of the lake, and then it just started spreading. Was it a rabies or was it a zombie that was down there from hundreds of years ago? Who knows?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. But somebody had gotten bitten and they held him in the village and they had him tied down, and then he bit somebody else and that person got around and started biting other people, and next thing you know, everybody's bit. And then millions of people are bit, and then billions of people are bit, and it was no good. And then you have zombies on a plane. Don't want zombies on a plane.
That'll be the next movie they make, Zombies on a Plane. It'll be like Snakes in a Plane. They just need to add Samuel L. Jackson into the movie and we're good.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about zombies who are smart enough to get into air vents and stuff like that. I mean, like, you do not want to mess with zombies like that. You don't want nothing to do with no kind of zombies like that. No.
What was that one movie? It was kind of goofy where the zombie falls in love with the girl and stuff.
Oh, yeah, that was so cute. I loved that movie.
But think about it. They can talk to each other. The zombies can talk to each other. They can plot things, plan, and everything. They can still think for themselves. That is terrifying. They don't fully decay, if you notice, because he points out that, I think in the movie, the main zombie character points out that he's been around for quite a while. Their main hangout is the airport. He's got his own personal airplane. He lives on it. He collects things and sticks them in there. And now he collects this girl because he's got some weird feelings for her and he doesn't want to eat her.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good movie. It was really good how she unzombied him.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Love was the cure.
I liked it.
Love was the
Yeah.
cure.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's really going to be the cure. One of my favorite
No.
zombie movies, though, is Shaun of the Dead. Oh, I freaking love that movie. Lord.
That one was great. You know, one of the ones that's terrifying would be 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. Those were some
Oh.
freaky zombies because
Oh, yeah.
that virus spread so rapidly. And come on, the
Mhm.
second one was the stupidest storyline ever. I mean, they find out his wife is still alive in the house. And I know we're on the topic of zombies in the paranormal episode, but who gives a crap? They find out his wife is alive at the beginning of the movie, and they bring her back because it's clear she's infected. You could see it in her eyes, but she's acting normal. She can eat like a normal person stuff. So they, of course, make her a test subject. You know, strap her down. You're not allowed to leave the room. And he's one of the leaders. He happens to be one of the leaders. He finds out his wife's okay, and he goes in there
Yeah.
and starts making out with her on the table. And of course, saliva contact. He's infected. He murders her and eats her.
I think she bit him.
No, they just kissed. It was
No,
they
I
point
think
they
she
point out
bit.
it was saliva because when they zoom in on the
Oh.
lips and everything, it's the spit. He
Oh.
literally ingests her saliva and turns into a zombie in seconds.
Yeah, after he left her for dead.
Well, no, he killed her.
No, he left her for dead.
Oh no,
he
you're right.
left-
Yeah, because she got bitten.
Yeah, he left her in the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
He left her for dead in the house and took off running and then got in the boat
Well,
and
don't
ran.
forget.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget he took his kids with him, and I think didn't she tell him to leave too because she knew she was bitten. She didn't want her kids to be sacrificed, so she told him to get out and run, if I remember correctly. Because I loved those movies. They're very, very good. And like,
No, he did not have kids with him. Those
didn't?
kids, I think, those kids were with someone else. They had lost their kids, and he found their kids.
Oh.
Yeah, he found the kids there, and they were reunited. And they asked what happened to their mom, and he lied to them. And then he went after them and tried to kill them after he got zombied.
Yeah, well, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, they spread that zombie-itis all over the place. It was crazy. Yeah.
They were
That
nearly
movie was
done with the
something.
zombie apocalypse too, because that's one of the few movies that takes into account starve them out, and then eventually they'll all die. As long as we have enough supplies and we hold out for several months to a couple years,
Yeah.
you're good
look
because
at-
the zombies
okay.
have to eat to continue to live.
Right, but look at people how they reacted. Like, okay, we'll use the pandemic as an example. When people said, "Oh, you're gonna have to wear masks and stay away from people, 6 feet social distance, wear your masks, don't go out unless you need to," people were not listening to any of that. Right? They were guffawing and they were like, I'll do what I want. I'll do what I want. You know, I'm free." And you think that if they put out a thing, oh, there's zombies or there's some sort of contagion going around and making people feral, that people are actually going to stay home and listen? No, they're going to go out there and get infected because people are stupid. They do what they want. Facts.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. I mean,
in this
not all
generation
people-
where when people get in a fight, they just want to take pictures and video it. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
people are stupid
Oh,
enough to
yeah.
go, "Hey, there's a tornado directly outside of my house. Let me step outside and take a video. I got to prove that I was here."
Yeah. And then later on, they're on the news all dead and stuff, wondering why they got killed. I don't know what happened. You know, it's just, we live in a society where people just pull out their phones for everything. And, you know, watching a 13-year-old get mugged in New York City for her cell phone and tennis shoes. And instead of helping her, you're standing there and you're recording it. How is that helping her? You're not helping anybody watching an old lady get punched in the head and recording it instead of helping this old lady.
Right.
Why aren't you? I mean, what kind of society are we living in that we're just standing here recording things instead of actually being human beings and loving each other and helping each other?
Terrified and bullshit. That's what it is. It's people are scared. They don't want to be a part of it because they don't want to end up getting beat up too. I'm like, I would still rather help the person. I'm like, you want a video of me helping the person? Go right for it.
Right.
I'll take the next steps to sue the person who beat them.
It's just craziness. With that being said, we have been going for quite some time. I think it's time to end this show.
Agreed.
What is next week's episode?
Let's see. Old people VR gaming, I believe.
Old people in VR. Yes.
Old people VR gaming. Yep.
All right. Now we got to find some old people.
Oh, look! Hey,
Yes.
hey, there you are. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Hey,
Hey.
that was your. Hey, it was
Wait
your
a
idea.
s-
That was literally your idea. That was literally
All
your idea.
right.
That's why I wrote that one down. You said older people VR gaming. So
Yeah, definitely. We can do
yeah,
it. We can do it. Older people gaming. All right. So with that being said, unless we change our thing, that's what our episode is going to be about. Unless we decide to talk about makeup or something else. I don't
ooh,
know.
makeup.
I'm just messing. Anywho,
Hey, I've worn
with
makeup.
that being said, I know you have. With that being said, thank you for joining us today on Everyday Talks with Aiko and Psycho. And then coming soon, we'll be having Everyday Politics with Aiko and Psycho. We hope you join us there as well. It'd be a
That
separate
will
channel.
most likely be on Rumble, right?
Yeah, I believe we'll be streaming that to Rumble.
We won't be able to stream it.
Perhaps,
Don't forget, we can't stream it. It's $10 a month to actually do live streams on there.
is it?
Remember, we were talking about that because we can
And,
upload
well,
we can upload videos, but we can't stream.
All right. Well, we'll be uploading videos onto our site on Rumble, and it'll be Everyday Politics with Aiko and Psycho if you care to listen to any of that. And with that being said, thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you soon.
Peace. One stream ended and